Good evening, everybody. It's December 16th, 2021. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin action here today. So we have a different way of looking at this today, slightly different way anyway. Yesterday I'd said that if it falls below 44K, it was likely going into a more bearish scenario. With this new way of looking at it, we potentially have down to about 43.5, so slight change there. But basically what I'm looking at is still this ABC. Obviously that's what that is. This action has been considerably more difficult to ascertain what exactly it's doing. It's possible that because this now looks like maybe we're going to get another wave down here, that this whole thing is W, X, and then a Y, and now we're going to see an ABC in this Y wave. And so I've got this fib extension drawn from the start of X down to A up to B, and this green box is the target for a C wave to end Y. So it has down to about 43.5. If it goes down below that, we're going to start getting into this territory where we're lower, we're about the same as this wick before, and that of course puts it in danger of breaking down further. The alternative is that Y actually ended back here, which I hadn't mentioned before. That's potentially WXY down, and then we can move up from there. In either of these cases, the bulls would want to see this as a 1, this or this, whichever one holds, as a 2, and then they would need to move up off that low. So if it continues upwards from here, or if it goes up from here and breaks this 52K level that I've been viewing as important, then we may in fact get a third wave up in a diagonal. My preference is still that we see a breakdown, because as I've explained before, this is no way to start off a bull move. It really isn't. This is all just crap action. These three wave moves are not what you want to see in order to start off a strong wave up, right? And so everybody wants to see Bitcoin go to 100K or more, and this is not the way to start it. So alternately, if we can break down below that low, I don't really care where it goes below it. It could just simply dip down slightly and then come back up. But if we can do that and get a 5-wave move, we're in good shape. If we break down all the way here and then get a 5-wave move, we're in good shape. Even if we break all the way down to the 20Ks again and then get a 5-wave move up, we're in good shape. Better shape than we would be, if we went up from here, to be perfectly honest. So I really do want to see a breakdown. I don't know if I'm going to get what I want, but that's what I want to see. So we'll just have to kind of keep watching the action here and see what happens. But I'm not going to be happy if this continues up as a diagonal, but if it does, then so be it. And obviously we'll continue to track it, but it'll get a little hairy there as we go up. So so for now, basically just kind of looking for this area here to hold. We'll see if it does, and if we move up off the lows then. Indicators right now are not bottomed out. RSI is not bottomed. PPO sort of went into the dark green here, but it's not necessarily a huge signal to me. We went into the dark green here, right on this dip, and then it went up and then obviously continued down further from there. So we may see the same sort of deal from here, maybe a slight bounce and then down, or even just sideways and then down to test this region here. So as far as indicators go, that's not giving me any indication. This certainly looks like a 3-wave move up, so it makes sense for us to go down from here. All we've had so far is one, or maybe even not a full one. We would expect at least another 3-wave move down, something like that. So I don't think we're done with this dump, but you never know. I'm prepared either way. Like, I'm just waiting in cash, like and waiting for that 52K area to break. Once that breaks, I'll be a lot happier to buy in on pullbacks and start reinvesting in the market. Until that happens, I'm in protection mode, like I said, and sitting in cash, and I'm happy to do that. So let me take a quick look over at the daily, just to explain something to everybody. I know everybody's feeling the pain right now of getting up to 68K and then basically riding it all the way down here, and then I'm selling down here. I would never ever tell anybody to sell when you're down that much, right? It doesn't make any sense to do that. When Bitcoin is down that far, usually the better thing to do is to buy. So yes, that's normally the case, but let me explain. How's this on the hourly? Whoops, I was on the hourly, sorry. Okay, on the daily, let me explain what my mindset is here, right? I accumulated a large amount in this 30K area. I rode it up. Right here, during this time, I was looking at this and saying, I think it was 50,800. That was my signal level to get out. I put stops on all my positions at 50,800, and you can see it broke down then from there, because I knew this wave was coming to an end. So I sold, I took my profits, and then I reaccumulated in this area lower down. So I was able to basically have more Bitcoin than I started with because I sold and then rebought. And then I rode it all the way up here. And yes, it would have been better had I sold right here, obviously. But you cannot call the top every single time. I didn't see this as a strong sell signal because after this initial one too, the next wave we should have gotten should have been a strong third wave. And obviously that didn't happen, and I was kind of warning along the way that this was making a diagonal upwards, and it wasn't making me happy, but it could have been making a larger diagonal, right? We were looking at something like this, and then that didn't hold, and I was looking at a slightly larger one. So there were reasons along the way that I didn't sell out. But again, my entries were down here, so I didn't really feel I needed to. Worst case scenario, I kind of stop out, break even, and whatever. So be it. Lost out on this unrealized profit, and that is unfortunate. But like I said, you can't always call the top and win all of them, right? And it seemed much more likely it would continue at the time, and this action coming down is really quite disappointing for a bull run. So anyway, selling up here in this region is still above where I had reinvested, and so I've still gained a little bit of profit in this area, about 10% or so. So I'm 10% better off than I was here, and obviously from here to here I'm significantly better off. That was what, a 50% run or something. So I'm not sad about this action, and again, if it proves itself, I'm going to buy back in and then ride the next wave up, and really won't have lost anything in any case. But if this does continue to break down, because now we have gone so deep here with this wick that it really does look, as I've said before, that we can get this sort of action where we have to come back down into this area again. I don't want to be sitting in, this is where I rebought. If we go all the way back down, well, then I'm at an unrealized loss, and I certainly don't want to be there if I can help it. So like I said, selling in this area to protect myself in case it goes further. If I can buy back in lower, that's great. Then I end up with even more Bitcoin than I had before, and then I'm still pretty confident that no matter what, it's going up again from here. Even if it goes down to the 20Ks again, it's going to go up, and I'll just be able to accumulate in that lower zone. Alternately, like I said, if it breaks out and breaks out the RSI here and then retests, then I just buy in slightly higher, and like I said, still haven't really lost anything. So that is my reasoning for stopping out here, even though, yes, normally stopping out on dumps is a bad idea. And in fact, like I said, I stopped here, but I certainly wasn't telling people to sell right here. I said buy, and I'm just not seeing that level of confidence where we are right now to say buy. I would rather stop out and let the market prove itself. So that's my thinking, and it's my plan, and I'm happy with that plan, and you need to have your own plan and be happy with it. there's a psychological tendency with humans. It's called the sunk cost fallacy, where if you've invested time or money into something, you feel like you need to continue on that path, even if the evidence is going against you, is saying that you're going to get hurt by doing that, right? So for people that maybe bought up in this region up here or bought here on this dip, they're kind of suffering that sunk cost fallacy right now of, shoot, is it better to just get out or should I hold on? Like, I put my money in, I should just hold on to it, right? And they may end up regretting it. I'm not saying for sure, but you may end up regretting it when it comes down here, because seeing that amount of drawdown is also another psychological impact for humans, right? If you see, let's say somebody invested all the way at the top at 65, 68K, somewhere in there. If they see that go down to 30K, do you think they're going to keep on holding? I don't know. I think a lot of people are just going to sell out and give up at that point in time. And that point in time is exactly when I'm going to be buying. So, and the point of that is that even those people that bought up here, it might be better to just sell out now. You're minimizing losses if it does go down. So, like I said, make your own plan and be happy with that plan. I'm not telling you to sell everything. I'm just telling you that's what I've done. And I've got a plan for how to get back in if it proves itself. I've also got a plan to get back in if it goes down further. So that's just my personal decision. Like I said, just be aware and try to step back from your emotions and say, am I suffering from a sunk cost fallacy right now? And would it be better to get out now, or is there a reason for me to hold on? Is there a level that I would get out at? And make those decisions, and make sure you have that plan before you invest in anything. You really should be having that plan with every single trade that you take. Look for the point where you're going to stop out and take your loss, because that is so important in trading, is just preserving your capital and making sure you're not investing more than you can lose in the first place, right? Just as an example, if you wanted to long Bitcoin, say in this area, let's say you want to long it at 44.5 and it comes down here, so set your limits there, but have a plan to stop out. Say, I'm going to stop out below that level, so that you're protected in the case it does something like this again, because the next stop down, if we break down below these lows, is very, very low. So make sure you have your plan in place right from the start. All right, that's enough on risk management and psychology and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, keep watching the action. We'll see. I think we're getting one more low here, but we'll watch the upper line too. 52K is the bull line in the sand, and at this point in time, 43.5, give or take, is probably the bear line. So let me just put a horizontal line there, and then we'll go ahead and end the video, and I will see you all tomorrow.